All right, we are live. Happy New
Woohoo!
Year's, everybody. Um,
Woo!
so since this will be a actual episode, thanks everybody for listening to Clickstuff today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. Just want to let everybody know that Clickstuff is brought to you by TrollandToad.com, the world's largest HeroClix retailer. Find HeroClix new and old on TrollandToad.com and use coupon code ClickStuff for 5% off your HeroClix order. Merchant and pre-order items do not apply. If you like what you're listening to here today on ClickStuff, check us out, patreon.com/ClickStuff. $1 and above gets entered into our giveaways. $5 and above gets entered into our Discord server for HeroClix strategy and tactics discussion. Um, so we are going over our year-end episode, year-end awards, all kinds of exciting stuff. We do have one person watching now. Did you guys have a good
Why is your
holiday?
video off?
Yeah, your video's off.
Your video's off, yeah.
It's on the live stream.
Oh, it'll be off for us then, Jason.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
off. It's off for you guys. It's on the live stream.
Can't look at his beautiful face tonight.
And we're not sure if he actually got the shirt on or not.
Yeah.
I do have the shirt on, but my GoPro would not work with Discord, so you'll have to pull up the live stream. I could use your guys' help. One, sharing the live stream into the group, and then two, if y'all put the live stream up on a other monitor, then I can see
You said
the
two.
question.
You said this is episode 255 is what we're doing?
Episode 255.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. 252. Then 253 is the lost episode. 254 was Iconics. Caleb is watching. So, we do have some questions tonight. We do have all kinds of stuff to talk about. So, did you guys have a good holiday?
Yeah.
You
Solid.
you encountered a deer, right, Jason?
Yeah, my wife and I wrecked into a deer on the way home on Christmas Eve and obliterated the front end of our Chevy Traverse.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, she was driving and jumped out right in front of us about 15, 20 feet away, I guess. And it just wasn't time to stop, and we just nailed it. And it was a big one.
That's crazy.
So it is currently tore down at the body shop.
All right. Well, what about you, Alex?
It was solid. It was, kids got a bunch of presents that they wanted. I had a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I'm here with you guys for the last bit of the holidays, right? So it can't be too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good time for Christmas, other than that thing. Yeah, the kids had a good time. So
Yeah, kids all had a good time. We just saw the new Sonic movie.
Oh, I saw it too. I took the kids yesterday.
Yeah,
I haven't got to go yet. Yeah, I want to take the kids this
It's
weekend.
good.
it's really
It's good.
A little predictable, but it's still good. So, as a reminder, our year event episode is always for figures released in that year. So, like, for example, in our first category, 50 points and under, or is that 49 to 0?
It's under 50 points.
So it'd be
it does not include 50.
So it'd be 49 to 0. So
right.
I'll just say our second category as an example. 50 to 100, we would say, MOE chases had a really big impact this year as well. But they were released in 2023. So they don't count for the year-end awards. It's how we've always done our year-end rewards. It's just in the year of, released in the year of.
Yeah, and I think one category that I'm adding to later, because I still got to work on it while we're talking, will include maybe some of those older figures. Is talking about the different metas, like kind of the different eras that we had this year. Like there was a time Poison Ivy was hot. There was a time that King Kong was, before he got nerfed into the ground a little bit, was everywhere. So I think it'd be fun talking about that of like, okay, what was everyone's favorite hotness in 2024? And that can include teams that isn't just 2024 pieces. Just the new hotness for the year, I think is fun to talk about. Because we forget some of the things that happened, in February of last year, March of last year.
Or this year. It's not next year for you yet. Yeah. This year.
Yeah, still this year.
It's still this year. Yeah, for 3.5 more hours.
Yeah. 4 or 5 hours.
We got
5 hours, 4.5 hours for Jason and I. So
yeah, we got a little more time left. Alex is in the future.
Yeah. I am in the future. The better time.
Do you have the Mega Millions numbers yet?
I wish.
Yeah. We need the Powerball now. It's the bigger one.
Right. All right. So
I'm in California on it again. So
all right. So normally we do polls on this. We've all been super busy. We have just not had time to do our traditional polls like we normally would. So 49 point. I've got them all up here on my screen, and I'm kind of strolling through them. 49 points and below. What is y'all's vote?
So yeah, like real quick, like Dan has mentioned, since we didn't have a lot of time to do the polls, all those in chat, you get to also throw in kind of your suggestions and pieces that you might want to put your vote in for, and we'll talk about some of the suggestions you guys have for these different categories. So that way, we're still including you guys, but not as much as So comment on what you think while we're going through these, the 0 to 49. The pieces that came out in 2024. And just as a reminder, we only got four main sets that came out this year. Because remember, Next Phase came out so late. We didn't get our first set until like May.
It was
Next Phase came out on March 20th.
Yeah.
Units. Yeah.
Yeah, but I felt like wasn't it delayed? Am I not thinking right? Yeah, it was March then.
Well, Next Phase. That's the other thing. Last year, did we include? And this is always a question. Did we include Wheels of Vengeance in our?
I think so.
Okay.
Because it came out just slightly after Halloween, so it had been out for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But there was a big gap between Next Phase and Wheels of Vengeance, like almost a 4 almost 5 month gap. It feels like. So we have Next Phase, Deadpool, Weapon X, Masters of Time, and Black Panther.
And the only main sets. Well, there's the main sets, and then all of the Iconics, because something from the Iconics could take Figure of the Year in those categories.
Yeah, we got a lot of Iconics. I could run through those real quick. Just for the reminder of those at home that aren't able to look at it. So the first Iconics we got this year was Harley Quinn, Roses for Red. Then we got Sherlock Holmes, Colossal Kong, the 2 Peacemakers on the Wings of Eagly, and Project Butterfly. First appearance Wolverine, Wakanda Hulkbuster, Trigon and Raven, Superman Up and Away, Beetlejuice, first appearance Spider-Man, and then the Eye of the Beholder. Those are all the Iconics we got this year. So a lot. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they did technically 12.
Yeah.
Remember they were trying to aim for one a month, and it didn't happen. But technically, we still got 12.
So there are a ton of things below 50, 49 to 0 that came out this year. I mean, we have on the Con-LE side, we got the new Apocalypse figures. So we got the first Con exclusive generic and Parademon. We got all of the bystanders this year that are below 50 points, 49 to 0. So like I'm just going through Next Phase. If y'all are watching, if y'all have the stream up on your thing too. So like I'm just going through here. Man, lots of great figures. Madison, the LE, Ultra Chase Kevin, probably the most controversial 49 point and below figure of the year.
Yeah, but now everyone has one now, so.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's got one, so it's all cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Elsa Bloodstone. If I'm missing anything,
Weasel. Don't forget Weasel.
Weasel wasn't in with next phase, so I'm going through next phase. So let's see. We've got the Hellfire Gala Part 2, the X-Men and the Avengers one. I don't even think you had that on here. That wasn't technically an Iconics, Alex.
No.
Which one?
The Hellfire Galas.
Right, that wasn't. I didn't list that one.
Right. So
it's not Iconics. It's just kind of a separate. Like I don't have any of the conventionalities either.
Sure.
Listed.
So now we go into the bystanders from Deadpool Weapon X, Timebreaker, Weasel, and it feels like I'm just passing up figures here that are just crazy good that may not make figure of the year. Major Logan.
Oh yeah, he's below
45.
50. Yeah. And that's the reason why we do under 50 is because 50 is kind of one of those. There's a lot of solid pieces right at 50. Mm-hmm. 50, it feels like almost the benchmark for a lot of pieces.
Yeah. And then as we go into Masters of Time, we've got Solaris, Starro, Green Man, Chase
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Perdegaton.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I'm not even through the super rares yet.
I mean,
Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Let me up this the size of my point build here.
The Xanadu's.
Are they in contention for figure of the year though?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, Perdegaton puts everything else in this set down, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Even though there's some really good stuff.
Yeah, Perdegaton. Man, is it Perdegaton?
I don't know, it's got to be between Perdegaton, Timebreaker, and Weasel, I think. That, for me, that's got to be like the three.
I'm looking through. Well, so here's the thing. We've got Black Panther, which hasn't really had a chance to make its full impact on the modern scene. But you do have Legacy Black Panther in there.
Yeah, Chair Panther for sure.
And then you have T2. And then you have the Shield Operative. And then that's probably it from Panther.
Now, you don't have them on here, but, are we not including any of the Herald pieces? Because you pay, most of the time they're being paid 10. I mean, sometimes they're free, but...
I think that we might just do a category for best sideline.
Sideline.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'll add that in there.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
It might be Perdegaton.
Yeah,
so some of the things we should talk about and look at also is let's look at results, the meta on HC units, and kind of go through some of the later months and see which ones were just being used and winning. Because see, I'm going now just to see if there's any other pieces below 50.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at the meta, Modern Age, Perdegaton, who's at the top for December, is at the top for November.
Did you have Timebreaker on there? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Timebreaker's definitely in contention, but
he's at the top for October.
Poison Ivy was mostly at 75, right?
No, she was 45.
Then she should definitely be on the list.
Perdegaton, September, #1.
I mean, since he came out, I feel like he's just been there.
So, this was also the year of Scott.
Yeah, true.
So, As soon as you go now, but as soon as you go into September, it switches to.
He wasn't released this year, so like, but he wasn't released. Scott wasn't released this year, so
was he officially? Were we using him last year? We were using him online a little bit last year after World.
He was out. He was out.
His number is WK23. He did come out. He just came out around Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because
the only
if you look at anything prior to September this year in the meta, Modern Age, Main Force, it's the Scots. Other than Per Degaton. Below 49-0.
The only other one I would put in consideration really is Major Logan. Just because of its impact before.
Let's look at
before Degaton, Per Degaton came out. I know that's sideline-ish.
Well, they have a sideline option for this. Right. So 49-0. It would be like Khonshu, Tarret, or Chthon even. Chthon was released last year, though.
Yeah, like if I'm looking into July, if I look at July, Main Force, there was 76 teams with Major Logan on Main Force.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but if you look at...
He's number 18.
He was. If you look at Sideline, though, going into October, the only thing that qualifies for what we're saying is, like, Reverse Flash or Khonshu.
Well, that's best Sideline, though.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
But even Main Force, Per Degaton is outshining Major Logan. Major Logan certainly gets a shout-out. But...
yeah.
It might just be Per Degaton, guys.
I think it's Per Degaton, really. He does so much.
He does so much. All right, are we ready?
49-0.
49-0. Per Degaton. There's a lot. We've had a lot. I think 50's been such a benchmark, though, for so long, though, Alex.
Yeah.
That this might have been the year that we've actually had contention in the 49-0.
Well, what's interesting is, like, Per Degaton hasn't had any real modern tournaments to be played in very much.
But he was top 2 at Red, White, and Clicks.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. He was a ton of that.
He's on several of the top 8 teams. Yeah.
Yep. So I think the next category, 50 to 100.
Ooh.
This one will be spicy.
I would agree with that.
We don't necessarily... throwing out some of the obvious ones is Kong. Has to be out there in contention.
Oh, yeah.
Butterfly has to be out there in contention.
Yeah, it does. Ghost Rider was last year. Sorry, I'm looking to type in here. So Alex is typing Kong, Butterfly. Is there any discussion outside of Kong and Butterfly?
Mern,
potentially, but I think those other two probably just out.
Mern just helped his Kong buddy most of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, here's the thing. Now, we're from America, right? So, I only know US Nats off the top of my head. But Adepticon, was he out for CCO? I don't think he was out for CCO. But Adepticon, US Nats, Worlds, all had a Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did get nerfed. He did get hit. If you get hit, typically that means you're pretty good. Mern did too.
Kong got hit at 50 and still won Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kong was not an insignificant part of his team.
Yeah.
Kong single-handedly beat my team. Beat 2 fully healed surfers for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Just so we all remember.
I mean, Kong's doing the heavy lifting on the map, whereas Butterfly's bringing in some other gear.
Now,
I think
Butterfly definitely might get the nod going forward.
Yeah. Currently.
That one's hard. Mern takes a little bit of a back seat because he's Butterfly material.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not forget the impact that Mern had on his own for a lot of teams. Before he got the nerf, because he also got hit. In my book, if it got watch listed for some reason, that means it's probably better.
Mern didn't get watch listed. Mern just got a ease of use fix.
An errata.
Errata.
Oh, that's true.
That happened to nerf him.
That's right.
So,
I mean, I'm not sure we can say that Mern's the best figure in his own Iconics release, to be honest.
Right, but I'm thinking of what are the top pieces? Throwing out, here are the top pieces from 2024 and then deciding. I don't want to just be immediately say, oh, it's Kong.
Well, yeah. No, I get that.
And without at least saying, oh, yeah, let's not forget Mern.
You had Colossus.
Colossus is definitely up there, too.
He's up there, but, I mean, he had a major impact. I don't think he's as good as Kong or Butterfly.
I think he's definitely a huge contender going forward.
Agreed.
We saw him say a lot of play in Silver, and he's not going anywhere in Modern.
Right. But
so
he might have missed his chance to get a year-end award.
I mean, would you say Colossus is the best figure in the Deadpool Weapon X set?
No, because he got Major Logan.
Well, let's hold that, because that actually could be. Well, we don't need to talk about best figure from each.
I still think Colossus is better.
We do a tier maker anyway, so
he's definitely more impactful.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
he might very well be. You have Prime Domino. Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, how many Prime Dominoes have you seen at the table? Not that many.
Not that many.
Colossus has arguably been everywhere since he came out.
Well, he has, but keep in mind you're maybe jading some of your thoughts with how much he was played in Silver recently.
I'm not, because it's not my thing. So
Sure.
No, but it's also Colossal. It's Colossus and Butterfly. It's the tag team, because he just enables. He's what Thanos wish he had. He's the best friend Thanos wish he had the whole time. And he doesn't, and now we're stuck with Butterfly, which is fine. Butterfly's great. But Colossus is great because he enables every mind controller.
Yeah. Colossus, if I'm thinking about going forward, and we said this on the past few episodes, Butterfly is a must-play for every team.
Yeah. That's why for me it's a tough toss-up between Kong and Butterfly. It's the issue with main force piece and a support piece, because Butterfly is just your Swiss Army knife. So if you talk about the best modern piece that came out of 2024, we're thinking also just pre-errata Kong. He's still great now, but he was amazing before. But Butterfly going forward, since we got Butterfly, is a staple. So that's where I'm struggling with, is it Kong or is it Butterfly? I'm leaning Kong just because of the impact it made in 2024. I could see that argument. Whereas he'll still make somewhat of an impact, but I still think Butterfly is going to be played way more often going forward.
And Jason, your video's frozen. I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on. We can still hear you fine, just your video.
Okay.
Kong? I'm leaning Kong. I mean...
Anybody in the chat? I see, hello, NSCACPT11 from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Hey there. I'm ready to call it for Kong. Hold on. Let me hit the... Let me see that Kong.
Sound effect of the year, air horn.
Yeah. Yeah. Most improvement to the podcast. Alex enabling a soundboard.
Hopefully we get more in 2025.
All right, the next one's going to be, I think, tricky.
Do we have 100 points and above?
That's the tricky part. I mean, we've got some key pieces. We've got were any of the Jurassic League played at 100 or above?
No,
right?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing gets.
Well,
it?
no, I feel like we have to put something in it.
Okay.
Oh, so,
Camo
was last year.
Dang it, you're right. It is.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah.
I think so we do have some things. I'm doing it here on my screen. We do have. I'm going from newest to oldest here. We do have Hadari.
Okay, that's true.
We do have the Juice at exactly 100 points. We have Mr. Darkside.
We can't, even though it's relating to silver, we can't ignore the fact that he swept so many silver tournaments.
Yeah.
We have Rogue Prime. I would say we have Starro, but nobody's really starting.
No one's playing up.
No one's starting Starro. Hey, Bill in Detroit.
Phoenix Wolverine.
Phoenix Wolverine was a thing at Worlds. It was the point and click team for Worlds. Krakoa. Oh, that's right. Krakoa, fellas, has a 150 point line.
Yeah, that's sorry.
Poor fella. I do have a good one here for us to think about. Hellfire Club Gala Captain Marvel at 100 points.
Good. She's very good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
TV She-Hulk from Next Phase has proven to be much better than we gave her credit for.
I agree. I'm just looking through here. Nothing else is really popping out at me. Darkseid, Wolverine, Rogue, Beetlejuice, Captain Marvel, Hadari, and She-Hulk. Okay. I mean, this one's tough, guys, because is it anything but the Juice?
I mean, he hasn't got to do anything this year, but I mean, going forward, it's probably going to be him.
I mean, he's so immediately impactful.
Yeah, he is. We just haven't had any chance for him to get played.
That's hard because are we talking about best figures going forward or best impact in 2024? Because I would argue...
he doesn't have the impact in 2024 because he hasn't been out a long time.
He doesn't, but his impact of 2024 is so large that is he not just figure of the year?
I mean, I'm not for 100 points and above. I don't know because he's more sideline, I think. Like, I'd have him in the sideline discussion. I'd have Darkseid in the argument for 100 and above. I mean, I know it's silver, but we had a ton of state tournaments, and he did win.
I mean, we all played him. We all played Darkseid.
Well, some of us on here played him a little more successfully than others of us on here.
Yeah, I would also have other arguments about that, but yeah. I'm not going to get into that right now.
Oh, that is funny. You know what, Alex? At least from our personal slant, between all three of us, Darkseid might be the figure of the year for 100 points and above for us.
On the map. I mean,
he made a huge impact for 3 months. Was it like 2 to 3 months of play? October, November, December.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a huge impact. I know, and he only came out in August, September-ish.
Yeah.
So it isn't like he had a...
Nothing else 100 points and above made any impact pre-rotation, basically.
That came out in 2024. Camo made an impact, but he was 2023.
Had they not errated the pilot ability, Darkseid's imprint would have been even larger.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Darkseid did
forget
cause.
about
It's
that.
got to be Darkseid because he caused an errata to something that wasn't even him.
Yeah.
True.
Darkseid affected the multiverse. I forgot
Yeah.
about how good
He
that
affected the
would
rules
be.
of the game going forward.
Man, that
So
would've
yeah,
been-
I'd say it's Darkseid.
Man, could you imagine? Oh man, that would have been really good. You could have gotten. Oh, I guess in Silver you couldn't have, but there probably would have been some other Silver pilot, right? So we could have played 400 points worth of like Darksides.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, I'm going to play my Darkseid team. I got 9 Darksides on it.
I must be glad we didn't, be born in that multiverse or that universe, right? Man,
Yeah, hey guys, I need to borrow 9 Darksides for Indiana States. Can I borrow 9 of them? I guess technically that team is still legal. There's nothing stopping you from running the 5 or 6, 7, whatever Ghost Riders and Darksides. It's just not as good.
it's just not the thing that it was. Yeah,
But I mean, like maybe that is the thing going into next year with Darkseid. Like you pop out the Darkseid, he's just immediately KO'd. You still don't score him. He could still run through a bunch of shit on the map.
well, that's true. I feel like it's just a meme now. Like this is.
Darkseid it is.
Yeah, I think
All
so.
right. And then here we go. Oh man, I keep turning off the soundboard on my other screen.
Give me a hell yeah!
Next category. Ooh, best sideline. I like what you got up here.
This might be the spiciest one because there's some pieces you're not thinking about necessarily.
Well, here's the thing. I think A Mutt's Tomb was released last year.
Ooh, you're
Yeah.
right. Darn. I have to take that one off.
It was.
Now now the other problem with sideline is so it's basically a 3-way battle between Beetlejuice, the Herald, pieces, the Khonshu's, the Tarets, and then basically the butterfly options of Myrn or Major Logan, those type of pieces. Like those are the 3 avenues you have to think about with best sideline because that's what most of the sidelines was a Khonshu or Taret. Chthon came out in 2023 at the end of it, so Chthon probably would have been one of the
he would have been a contender for sure.
Yeah, but
So
he's not there.
It feels like to me that it's far and above Khonshu or Amit. Surprisingly, at the beginning of the year, I would have thought Taret, but Khonshu and Amit.
Yeah, I think it's Khonshu hands down. I've barely seen Amit on people's teams that I've played.
Post rotation, he fell off hard, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Khonshu.
He had the Kong combo with him and Chthon on Kong was really good, but
yeah.
Yeah, the downside to pieces coming out so late is like, yes, we want to say Beetlejuice is the best, but he hasn't had a chance to really be played, and he won't really be considered. I mean, we could probably consider him next year if we want to make a note.
his impact has not happened yet, really.
Hey.
Not officially. Not officially.
We can make a note for next year. Pieces that come out in December can be considered because there's nothing in December.
Oh, here we go. For folks on the I'm doing my best. My best Khonshu impersonation with a toilet paper roll as my ankh or whatever.
Okay.
I know if y'all would be able to see it if you were watching the live stream.
Also, hey Dennis, Happy New Year.
Yeah, I said that. I just slipped it in.
I know I didn't get to say it. I wanted to say it too.
Yeah, all good. Khonshu.
Right.
I think it's a pretty easy one. Khonshu, best sideline piece of the year. Y'all are supposed to look way more happy when I hit the air horn, by the way.
We're bracing ourselves for the noise.
Yeah. Best equipment. So I don't think we included the holiday advent calendar thing, the Guardians holiday set last year. So Bucky's arm is at least in contention here this year.
We didn't really get any equipment this year. Now that I'm looking at it, we got
not
some.
a whole lot.
We've got
the Big Daddy this year though.
Well, 2 Big Daddies.
Yeah, well, I guess motorcycles, and I guess all we got this year was what, trick arrows. Really, that's all it came out.
So we got Bucky's arm if we're including that because that was December. We've got the trophy, which no one's used. We got the broadsword construct, which was the Con LE.
Which hasn't been used.
We've got the 2 sets of trick arrows.
Yep.
Peacemaker's helmet.
Yeah, that's not on here. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, Peacemaker's helmet, and then we just got the bag of holding, which just came out. So no one's used that one yet.
So is it de facto the trick arrows because it has no competition?
Well, hold on. Do we want to say which trick arrow though? Because they came out 2 different sets. They're 2 different trick arrows.
Not for game effect purposes. They are the same thing for game effect purposes.
Well, for debate's sake, if we want to at least talk about it, which one do you think
which set is better? Yeah.
Then it's got to be Disney because of Big Arrow and Too Dangerous.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and sealed with the Masters of Time one, you were left wanting a little bit with the other trick arrows. Yeah. I felt like.
I mean, if you were gonna include motorcycle, which would you say was better?
Trick arrows. I would still say trick arrows. If you wanted to include, like, I don't know, what else are we equipping with right now?
I mean, that's it. It's the cycles, the trick arrows, the Bucky's arm. That's pretty much it.
We're all just holding our breaths for next month when we get all the juicy stuff from Collector's Trove. So
that's true. All right. I think that's a pretty easy one just due to lack of good competition. Trick arrows. Disney Plus. Equipment of the year.
Next phase.
Yep, next phase. Best set.
Masters of Time, hands down.
Yeah, Masters of Time. I know you've just for Alex's sake here, just so we don't jump too far ahead. We've got next phase, Deadpool, Weapon X, Masters of Time, Black Panther. Masters of Time.
I mean, it has the best in 3 categories already. Like, it has to be.
Next phase had too much of a debacle with Kevin.
I don't think that's the reason why next phase is worse.
Well, that's one of the reasons it's worse to me.
That's a minor reason. The set itself wasn't that great.
That is all.
Like let's just go through the sets real quick because I feel like we go through lightly. Where next phase, if we look at what's modern currently out of next phase, you're left with like Elsa Bloodstone, obviously the avatars.
Yeah.
You've got
Wong,
Man Thing. Was this the good Man Thing?
That was the good Man Thing.
The trick arrows.
Madison.
TV She-Hulk even I would give credence to. Yeah.
Don't forget Steve with Starter Superman.
That's true. And there's some other pieces that might get better. Wong and Madison.
And doesn't the other Chase Dancing Zemo?
Zemo?
Yeah.
He could move Bigger Man.
Yeah, I've had him on the same thing because they're you could get him Soldier, I think, or Thunderbolts. So you could do that. So I mean, the set's not terrible.
I think next phase is second place, to be honest.
Ooh, that's a spicy.
The second place, could be more spicy. I feel like they all had good.
Yeah,
stuff. Like Black Panther's shaping up to have some good stuff in it.
Maybe they're just all second place. But besides Masters of Time, I think Per Degaton, Darkseid, the Colossals, it brought back Starro. It brought back Solaris. The legacy cards were fire.
Reverse Flash. Chase Diana.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we're jumping the gun. Let's talk about Deadpool Weapon X for a second.
Colossus, and then
Colossus.
Weasel.
Major Logan.
We had Major Logan. We had Deadpool and Hitmonkey was out there.
Deadpool and Elsa.
And Elsa.
We've seen a little bit of Deadpool and Death, I feel like, on some teams. Like, I feel like the Deadpool chases are
it multiple times.
Sure.
In silver.
I feel like the some of the chases from that set haven't really been unlocked yet. I still think they're probably better than we think.
Yeah.
But the big debacle with Deadpool was really the Pogs. Those chase boosters didn't get out till way later, and so you had the Weasels and Time Breakers being ridiculously priced.
Yeah.
Because they just never got out there. I would put Deadpool Weapon X below Next Phase. Because I feel like we didn't get as much out of the set. Like, if you look at the super rares...
Agreed.
If you look at just the super rares, right? I don't think a single super rare is being played. Like, the Prime Domino is a Prime, but none of the super rares are being played right now.
No.
Mm-mm.
None of the rares are being played right now. Like, it's all Primes or the chases. So Deadpool Weapon X, which is funny because when I think back of my experience with the sets when they came out, I feel like Next Phase was below because I feel like Collation wasn't great with it at times. Like, it wasn't a great sealed set at times. And we never really got a lot of...
Yeah, Next Phase wasn't a good sealed set because pull Moon Knight win.
Right.
Pull Moon Knight and Prime Colossus, you definitely win.
Yeah, did that. Confirm.
Yeah.
I mean, I want a super sealed with Moon Knight. So I mean, same thing Jason did with, but he had Colossus to beat Alex's non-Colossus did Moon Knight team.
Yeah, I had Colossus, Moon Knight, and Khonshu.
well, I also think about it, like, Deadpool didn't get a tournament. Like, we got with Masters of... Next Phase, we had Adepticon. It used those for BRs.
Deadpool got Origins.
Okay. I didn't go to Origins, so maybe that's just personal then.
Yeah, I think that's just personal experience.
So where does So right now I have listed Masters of Time top, then Next Phase and Deadpool. Black Panther's new, so it's hard to really determine how impactful the set's going to be still.
Mm-hmm.
But I already think there's super rares that are going to see play.
I already think it's better than Deadpool.
And it has some of the avatars. It's got some chases. Like, I think it's definitely better than Deadpool. I don't know if it's better.
Deadpool. I don't think it hasn't proven itself to be better than Next Phase, unfortunately. We can revisit that at some point if we make a note to remember that in a year's time.
Yeah, I mean, the benefit it has on Next Phase is it does have, similar avatars, or avatars in general, not similar, but has the avatar aspect. It's also got decent bystanders, but it also has legacy, which Next Phase doesn't have, and it's got good legacy cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got Sheriff Black Panther and some of these others. So I'm tempted to put it up above Next Phase, but you're right. It's probably almost tied with second place, but giving Next Phase the edge because it's been out.
Yeah.
Black Panther did give us those Marvel stealth team ability.
Technically, the Iconics did first. Wakanda Hulkbuster.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair.
Best Iconics.
What a great segue.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Best set of 2024 DC HeroClix Masters of Time.
I hope that really doesn't blow out our audio for the
It doesn't blow out the audio on my end, so I don't think it does. So, but if it does, it's all good. Just part of it.
What's going to be interesting, I think, going into next year is like it doesn't feel like we only got 4 sets, but we did only get 4 sets. It was supposed to be 5 because we were supposed to get a collector's trope by now, but we only ended up with 4, and so that means next year, knock on wood.
Oh man, yeah.
Should be more loaded because we'll get collector's trove. We already know we got the Spidey set. We know we got the Hulk set. We know there's a Lantern set at some point.
That's 4.
Yeah, I mean that's 4 off the bat. So, and that's only. I mean, Lantern's not out on solicits yet, but we've got the first 3 going through probably June, first half of the year.
So there's a good chance it's around September again.
So what so it's collectors, trove, and then what's after collectors?
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
So we've got Smash and Destroy and Spider-Verse are currently slated for March.
Well, that'll get pushed.
Yeah, one of them will get pushed.
Smash Destroy gets pushed.
Yeah, one of them will get pushed, but both of them are technically
so maybe for Rock Cup
March.
we get Smash and Destroy preview, whatever special BR.
Maybe. I can absolutely see with how much with the Lantern set getting so much desire, and they're creating it because of the players, like saying that was the one they wanted most. There's no chance that is not the world's BR set.
Lanterns,
right?
Yeah. Oh, for Lanterns, yeah.
It has to be.
So
throwing all that stuff out.
So 5 is likely this year because of Collector's Trove, Spider-Verse, Smash and Destroy, and then Lanterns, and then we don't know past Lanterns, right?
Right, but we'll probably get like we had Black Panther. We'll get an October-November set, most likely. So we'll probably have 3 new sets for Worlds, like for World competition purposes.
Yeah,
we're likely we'll have 3 sets, and then Lanterns probably won't be legal for Worlds. It'll be the BR set, and then we'll get whatever next set they announce. That'll be the Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas set.
Yeah.
For the fourth quarter. So I'm expecting 5 sets next year.
Man.
With all the iconics that we're getting.
I like it. All right. Best iconics. It feels like impactfulness. Here's my thoughts on impactfulness. Kong, number 1. Harley Quinn, number 2. Because it only took 1 tournament for Harley to get rid of big maps, get rid of a Mutt's Tomb. Well, that was kind of looped in there. That was Nationals that got rid of a Mutt's Tomb. My bad. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, Roses for Red, got rid of big maps early.
Yeah,
that was impactful. Now,
very.
Butterfly is just ubiquitous, right?
Yeah.
We got 2 big figures out of it, though, technically.
And that had Mern, too, right?
Yeah, they were both from the same set.
Okay, so yeah, that's ubiquitous for number 3. I don't... And then, as funny as it is, we know Beetlejuice is going to be impactful, but from a December set, maybe he gets revisited next year then.
That's hard because best iconics. That's almost a lot of people would argue Beetlejuice is the worst iconics.
Yeah, that's a good.
Not really the best. He's the worst because he inhibits, whereas Kong is a different kind of good.
Man, I don't want to spoil it, man. I tell you what, once I hopped on the Kong train, I had so much fun playing HeroClix. I avoided it. I avoided it for 1. I avoided it for Adepticon. But after that, let me see that Kong, baby.
He's just a lot of fun.
Alex, do you have any reason Kong shouldn't be number 1?
Peacemaker's helmet came in the Eagly set, right?
But what did?
The Peacemaker helmet.
Yeah, that was in the Eagly set.
Yeah, and then the
Okay.
Peacemaker that makes them dance or whatever.
No, the
Yeah,
Peacemaker
'cause-
making dances in this is in Project Butterfly as well.
Yeah, that.
Oh, is it
because-
really? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, because when I'm
Project
looking,
Butterfly might just have to be it. I mean,
that's what I'm looking at. Because I'm looking at it purely from what you get in the box, right? So you get Kong and also his terrain markers, which is great. Harley, you get just a Harley. You've had to buy multiple Iconics to make that Harley work. So Harley for me actually is
Ivy, really. Ivy's the star.
Ivy. Sorry, Ivy. My bad. So you had to buy multiple of those. So for me, that puts it down a little bit. I almost like Project Butterfly the most because you get two incredibly impactful pieces, and like
Three.
Peacemaker isn't bad. Well, yeah, I
would
wasn't
say-
including
I would say
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker is incredibly impactful, and I'll give a shout out to Darren Gindron. I know Darren is going to give me some crap for mispronouncing his last name, but he made an impact at Nats with Peacemaker.
And yeah, I mean, some of these other pieces on here, Trigon Raven, Wakanda Hulkbuster, first appearance Wolverine, none of these really made a big impact. I mean, Sherlock Holmes has been interesting, but it's really between those three in my book: Peacemaker, Project Butterfly, Colossal Kong, and then Harley Quinn Roses for Red. I think just because you're getting multiple pieces in that Peacemaker set, and Kong is good, but like Project Butterfly, that whole set is just going to last because of Butterfly and Myrn. And like you said, the Peacemaker,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Jason?
Yeah.
I think Alex has made a compelling argument.
Oh no, I agree with him. Like, it has 3 great figures in it, and Kong is, was the only figure in his box, but
Right.
a big figure, but that's what you want from Iconics, is either make it a very
Kong was also
impactful piece.
the first flocking figure that we got.
yeah, Kong wins best sculpt, but the Butterfly box probably just wins the best overall.
All right. Peacemaker Project Butterfly, Best Iconics 2024. And the Bill says that the air horn isn't too loud, so let's go Project Butterfly.
Man, when they were announcing all the Iconics for 2024, who would have thought that would have been the one that ends up being the best one out of 2024, right? Like, where they were like, "Oh yeah, we're getting Colossal Kong, here's a couple Peacemakers," and people are like, "Oh, cool, Peacemaker, we love Peacemaker," but no one was sitting there thinking, "Yeah, Project Butterfly, heck yeah." That's
My
be
best
the
memory
one.
of it was just getting it like a month early because WizKids shipped it out to me by accident.
That's right.
And then it was almost legal for Rock Cup.
Almost, yeah, but not quite. Yeah.
Almost, but not quite. So while you're typing that one up, Alex, we always give our shout out to Player of the Year, which is always the world champion. So congratulations to Dylan Kassenbaum for winning 2024 Player of the Year by winning the 2024 World Championship. So congratulations,
great
Dylan. Just one of the super nicest guys. And
I like this one.
So normally did you do a kissy face there, Jason?
A what?
I think it came up with was that on my end? Somehow, oh no,
I did the Thor one.
I like
That's
this
the
one.
Thor one.
I like this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, when you do that, it shows up a kissy face emoji over your face.
That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
So
It works.
Hell yeah!
I do while Alex is typing up the next category, I do want to give a shout out to Bill Rocher for doing the ELO rankings, putting a mathematical and data-driven spin onto player rankings. I have attempted to pay off Bill on multiple occasions to not put my name at the top of the list. But I guess I am currently the player to beat for 2024, and as all-time ELO rating, it would be me. Although I've tried to pay off Bill, but Bill is an immaculate, not able to be paid off person. So I guess thank you to Bill for making the ELO rankings.
Yeah, they've been fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's been the most fun version of it because it's mathematical and data driven. All the other versions of player rankings have been subjective and have caused way too much controversy. So we don't really look at those anymore. But yeah, that's why Dylan gets it. And thanks to Bill. Best convention exclusive LEs.
Yeah, because these weren't included in any of the sets. These weren't any of the iconics. It's almost become somewhat of a forgotten, not the con LEs, but like all the LEs we get throughout the year. Because, we do get like, they're still pumping out the ones for the stores, right? Like the little 3
I wouldn't say they're
figures.
pumping them out because they've been slow in getting them out to people recently.
OP kids. Yeah, that's the word I was trying to think of.
Oh, Bill is watching, so I didn't realize that was you, Bill.
Sorry, Dan, I can't.
Sorry, Dan, I cannot be bought. It's fine. I'll have to keep playing. I will say, Bill's ranking, you have to play, right? I think part of the reason I have so much success in the ELO ranking is I do place very well. I won a few events this year, and I did play a lot in 24. But being on Bill's spreadsheet is one of the reasons I'm looking at attending Champion Clicks and Adepticon, because I can't let my ELO ranking drop too far now. I have a spreadsheet to maintain.
I just enjoyed when I was on the top of silver for like a hot second. That was nice. Just seeing my name once. I was like, oh, I was on there once.
Yeah.
I only played in one state, so that's why I fell quickly. But it was nice for that one hot minute.
What people don't know about me is or may not know about me is the one thing that gets me just as excited as HeroClix is a very good spreadsheet.
Fair.
Nothing better than a sexy spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's right. Also, if you ever want to watch something during the remainder of your holiday break, watch the Excel World Championships. It's a really cool thing to watch.
Sexy spreadsheets. Get your spread out on my
best convention exclusives, LEs.
This is rough. Some of these aren't great, but because this year, remember, we didn't get great convention exclusives. No offense, WizKids, but it was kind of
not competitively, right?
Right. Like, it was kind of a swing and a miss. How many people have
I still have my deceased Darkseid here that I have not unboxed. No, I did unbox it. Never mind. I did unbox it after winning it for the Champion Clicks Open at Jay's store. The day after they announced that it was going to be a $15 buyable.
Yeah,
so that took
the wind out. Thanks a lot, guys.
That was such a mess.
I know, and it's sat there the whole time. Unfortunately, the sculpt is really cool, though.
It is.
I do enjoy.
The only con exclusives that really saw a lot of play this year were definitely not from this year's stuff.
There was one convention exclusive this year that, by virtue of volume on one team, skewed the results.
The big Phoenix Sentinel, yeah.
Mr. Eli Becker playing 10 Battle Gnomes.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Bill, the Excel World Championships. It's a thing.
Yeah, it is. Those guys are crazy.
Yeah, they all use
a whole lot of clicking, clacking. Yeah,
they use their keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts are the key to Excel. I'm not very good at them.
And you should watch it because they pump that up. Like, they pump it up even more than like HeroClix World Champions. because they've got like stage and like lights going and music when they're like doing the final thing. Oh,
that also
it's
reminds me, like, I just saw where the multi-time English Scrabble world champion has already gone out in like the past decade, and he is at least a 1 or 2 time French world champion. And that wasn't enough. He just won the Spanish World Championship in Scrabble.
Oh,
and that's a big to do, guys, because that's in different languages. That's the other.
Yeah, he won it in the native language.
Yeah, it's not like HeroClix where you would like, I go to Canada and I win that tournament, and then I go over to Spain and win that one. It's
yeah. And apparently the Scrabble dictionary for Spanish is like 600,000 words, and he just beat everybody. He lost 1 game out of 24.
Wow.
That guy that won has to be gloating a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I think it might have been in the finals. I think it may have came down to a like best of 2 or best of 3 in the finals. Because the guy that interviewed the second place guy, and he was just flabbergasted, like he didn't know how. But
we can also include, I guess, starters if we wanted to, because we got new starters.
Man, it feels like you're just adding more to this category of calling it best convention exclusive LE starters.
Well, I'm trying to make
sure
sure
not let Battle Gnome win a category.
Well, it's also, I'm just trying to make sure we don't forget other pieces that didn't fall into our other categories, because WizKids does have a lot of stuff that isn't in main sets anymore.
That's true.
So, like, if it's not in a main set, not in Iconics, it kind of floats in this special edition world where you have convention exclusives, you've got the OP kits, you've got the starter sets. So, like, looking at the list I have on their Battle Gnome, just like Battle Gnome, we have people playing the multiple mans.
Well, they just play the one multiple man because he's so entirely powerful.
Sure. Looking at the OP kits, we had the Joker and Penguin one, which has, I feel like, always been talked about, but never really played. The Super Pets Con LE was actually, I think, probably the best Con LE purchasable.
Yeah, probably.
Out of all of them. Deceased Catwoman, I'm going ahead and taking that off because that wasn't that great. Deceased Black Adam hasn't come out yet, technically, but he probably would have made the list. Then we have Hellfire Gala 2, and then the starters, which I put the DC one because that Superman is great. So that's the only reason I'm really putting on there is I'm looking at, like, I'm thinking about, okay, you were talking about Captain Marvel from the Hellfire Gala, Battle Gnome, and Superman. And so you can argue, well, Battle Gnome's had the biggest impact thus far, because the other ones haven't had a chance to. Well, outside of Captain Marvel. So
Captain Marvel is better than Battle Gnomes at that one tournament. So
yeah, I mean, I'm fine with naming Battle Gnome the best. I just want to make sure we consider everything in the category.
Sure.
It didn't just go Battle Gnome and that's it. Because
I get it.
No, I'm going to argue Captain Marvel or Superman over Battle Gnome. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you add that other stuff, it's got to be Captain Marvel for me. Is the best other category thingy this year.
Yeah, Soups hasn't got to play yet. But
yeah, Superman came out very end of November, so we could re-look at that next year.
It is a 25 starter after all.
Fair.
Oh, that's true, Jason. Superman doesn't get to be in contention because he's a future piece.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Captain Marvel from the Hellfire Gala 2.
Well, it would just be the whole set, I think. So Hellfire Gala 2, best.
Well, I don't know. Is that it's probably the best. She's the best single figure. I feel like.
Yeah, the Scarlet Witch. The Scarlet Witch
cool
is
figures
good too.
in 3 also.
Actually, I don't know if it is technically 2, but I think because we did get another. We got Hellfire Gala Avengers because we did get a second X-Men one.
They're calling it Hellfire Premium Gala 2. Is the Avengers one. 3 is the new X-Men one.
Well, in HC units, they actually have 2 listing both Avengers and the other set of X-Men. They have them both in the Hellfire Gala Premium.
I see the Avengers as Hellfire Gala Premium Collection too.
on
units. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hellfire. Scroll down, and you'll see the X-Men pieces in there also.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's Hellfire Gala 3, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, you could just say I'll name it Avengers because you could argue that's Hellfire Gala X-Men 2 because we already had the first set of X-Men. But I like it. I'm glad that was the one that I had available. Like I ran and bought that one, and it was legal before the Rock Cup. I didn't really use it, but I was able to find one.
I don't have it. I need to get one.
I have one. It's a good looking set.
Yeah, they were good.
I want it because that Doom sculpt is just like so awesome.
It is fire. All right,
That's the card that I use of Doom is that same sculpt there, artwork.
all right. Hellfire Gala 2, Avengers, best other category of stuff released this year.
All right, so the last one I have on here, and if anyone has any other things to talk about,
we do have questions. We have a few questions to answer too, so just keep that in mind.
So, yeah, so this last one, I haven't put many suggestions because I figured this is one we could talk through. Is like the best meta era that we had this year because it feels like each year we have little pockets of here's this current meta for a month or two. Then there's this meta until it gets nerfed. And so we had Kong for a while, right? There was a meta where IVs were better because they were great on the longer maps. And then when maps shrunk, well, they fell off. But that 2-week period or something with IVs was a meta. I didn't know if we wanted to talk about the different aspects of the year and just think about the different pocket metas.
My favorite meta of the year was U.S. Nationals.
Oh gosh, I think that's one of the worst ones, if not the worst one.
Okay, so objectively, it was the worst meta. But I can tell you what, we got to use our Brock's bunkers, major Brock's bunkers. We got to use a Mutt's tomb. We were on small maps. And it was the most unleashed, most powerful section of the meta that we got to have all year. Now, objectively, it was probably the worst. But I can tell you what, I did have a lot of fun saying, here comes the Kongs with the black hearts. That pop was probably really loud in everybody's headphones. I'm very sorry. Here comes the Kongs. Here comes an Elsa. Light them up.
I guess the format of that just also, taints it for me as well because I hate the format.
You don't like the Nationals format is not good. The pod play is not great.
No.
So
just a reminder of some of the different metas that we had. There was the first real significant tournament was more of at Adepticon. We did have the CCO stuff before that, but Adepticon I feel like was where we had more of the main people.
I like
that one. That one was fun. That was when Kong made its first splash, and everyone was rocking a Kong then.
I was still playing two surfers at that point. That Adepticon was great.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, just a reminder, Lucas won it with Carnage, Silver Surfer, Kong, the Wonder Woman, the Death Metal Wonder Woman, APOC Genesis, the two Porters. So that was our first foray into, here's the Porters, they're definitely here. Get ready for them.
I tell you what, I'll say this. I rather enjoyed the Porters.
Yeah, I did too. I don't hate them. I don't know why everybody hates them.
Because they were just such a must play. I get it.
So they were just so good. They just did the things that you needed to do.
They weren't. They did the things you need them to do, and
they made theme teams relevant.
And they weren't oppressive.
No, they were not oppressive.
I think that is a good point, Jason. They made theme teams relevant. I think that is something I hope WizKids works on and incorporates that on not as oppressive of figures as the Porters were, where it's just you more incentivizing theme teams.
I think theme teams already has enough of incentive. Just as a vote for.
I think they're less important now than they've been all year because of what we have to play right now.
Well, here's the thing: 84% of all of state provincials teams winners were theme teamed.
Yeah, I saw that, and I get that. And I mean, all this year up until this point, I would agree that they're.
Wait, did you say states like as in silver?
Yeah.
Well, that's because you had porters. You had a porter.
Mm-hmm.
Like you still had access to them.
Yeah, but
like if they took some of the pieces of porters and added, the same concept of like the map wide rolls or +1 attacks or whatever, and added those to different theme teams. So like X-Men has a version that you could do with Professor X or whatever, and throw those on different keywords, like the more named keywords, as opposed to generic, even though those don't exist anymore. I think that'd be great. I think that would make it where, I'm incentivized to play Masters of Evil, or some of these ones at Avengers, Justice League, because team abilities don't really do it anymore. It's really, unless you have one or two pieces that really incentivize it, we're just looking for keyword cheating to get them on better teams. So I hope they look into that more and see that, the reason why the porters were so, I didn't like them, is because they basically made almost every other support piece not worth playing, because you got all of your support needs for 50 points.
Yeah.
You could still throw others in. Of course, people did. It's just, you didn't need to on a lot of teams anymore. And so that really meant you got a cool support piece that came out. Well, it paled in comparison to the porters. So why even play it? And now we're getting back into it. And now we're like, per Degaton, before the porters retired, if he was legal during that time, we'd really sit here and be like, well, compared to the porters do a little bit more than per Degaton, so we wouldn't be looking at him as fondly as we do the porters.
That's true.
We like him now because he is kind of a porter pseudo replacement.
Yeah.
Because he does fun things for low points.
That's true.
We need those kind of things, though.
We do, but we need multiple, and to do cool, unique things, not just one that fits on every team and is just, or two that fit on every team and do way too many things for 25 points. Like, the amount of things per Degaton does is good, but it's not as good as the porters. But like, that could be the threshold. That could be like, hey, see what per Degaton does. Keep it within the 20 to 30 point range. Give us some other support type pieces, maybe in different keywords or something.
I just feel like their good parts were better than any kind of bad thing that they brought to the game.
Yep.
Like promoted, you could build a theme team of very much anything because they existed, and now you can't. They didn't stop you from playing the game. They didn't break any rules. That's what I find the worst pieces of the game are stuff that stop you from playing things that you want to play because they just say you can't do it.
Well, this is the same argument we had before with the Venom Magnetos.
Yeah, I get it. I still don't dislike Venom Magneto. No, you did.
Yeah, and I don't dislike him either.
The thing I don't like about the porters also is just the insane numbers we wound up having. Like the attack, like everyone rocking like a 13, 14 attack. Like not as much.
We're still doing it though.
Not as much though. Like,
well, BJ says you can't perplex Jason, so
yeah, fair point. It was just insane because we had a meta effectively where it's like, it doesn't really matter what defensive numbers you have. They're likely going to hit. You just got to roll a shape change or roll a super senses, hopefully, because big number is always going to trump your number. It's always going to be a 14 on a 20 or
Yeah.
whatever.
But back
The
to
numbers were just
question- Back to
insane.
the question.
Big numbers
What
just
did-
don't work. Big
what-
defense numbers don't work. Somebody's always going to hit it. It's just
What did you find? So, I enjoyed Nationals. I also enjoyed Worlds. I did not enjoy Origins from a objective meta perspective. This is no comment on the event itself. All of the modern events I attended this year were amazing, to be clear, from an event perspective. Probably enjoyed Origins the least. Enjoyed Nationals and Worlds the most. Adepticon was fine. No notes. Champion Clicks was fine. No notes.
I'm going to say Worlds was my top one.
Yeah.
Red, White, and Clicks was 2.
Yeah, I have Red, White, and Clicks.
Pulse.
You know what? Red, White, and Clicks would be
Pulse Worlds.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, Pulse Worlds pre-Beetlejuice. Excellent. Excellent stuff. And then I'll have Adepticon for 3. Probably.
Alex?
Those.
Yeah, I think I am leaning more to the later tournaments because I do think Kong really just ruined a lot of things for a while. That in tandem with Ivy's, because he was very good and you had the Black Hearts that just enabled him too much to where it's like, oh, you have to build around getting smashed and quaked for 3 in your whole team, and you could just lose by.
But my counter to all of that will always be engagement matters.
Right, but that boiled down to really just did you win first play or not?
But then you had Major Box Bunker to help out on the defense.
Not for a majority of the meta I'm talking about. Kong ran outside of that.
Well, so we had big maps. So before Nats, there was that's Morlock Tunnels, and then Barrier to help out slowing down Kong.
And Morlock Tunnels was one of the bigger ones at Adepticon because you could just chill in the back and run up a Mutt's Tomb for a while.
Yeah.
So there are multiple aspects to Kong that made him bad. Blackheart, a Mutt's Tomb. When Ivy's came out, that made it better for Kong because now you're on the small maps. And even when they got rid of Blackheart, it's like, well, I'm on the small maps now. It's not as bad. It wasn't until they finally hit him with the watch list that it felt like, okay, now he's where he needs to be. He's tolerable, still very good, but he's tolerable. You can still build with him, you can still smack people, but I don't have to worry about him just never dying and just taking out my whole team.
No.
So I like post watch list. I do agree with Worlds probably is one of the better ones. I haven't played in Modern since Worlds in a major tournament. So I would think post rotation is probably where I'm leaning now because I'm happy the Porters are gone, but I'm also more happy that Masters of Evil are gone because I was just tired of
Right
King
after
Killmonger.
Worlds was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Red, White, and
So-
Clicks was super duper enjoyable.
Yeah, so assuming they take care of Beetlejuice, I mean, I think post Worlds is probably the better meta
Yeah.
era at the time because rotation really did a number on a few pieces that were a problem or annoying. King Killmonger was just
I don't know.
annoying.
I think now you have to play 2 pieces. You got to play Butterfly, and you got to play Chair Panther to counter Butterfly
And to counter
and Beetlejuice. And Beetlejuice. So now your team starts off at 290 at 10 points. That's your team.
Oh man,
Uh,
Alex is saying something to the sideline.
Yeah, my sideline, yeah, basically.
Yeah, I think teams right now are 210 points. Maybe even less if you include some Conchus or something like that.
Wait, what do you mean they're 210 points?
60 for Butterfly, 30 for Chair Panther. You got to play them.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sorry. I thought you were saying, here's the 210 that I have for you. You can build the other 90.
No.
I was like, whoa,
No.
whoa.
That 90's almost mandatory. Because of those two figures the way things are right now.
Maybe. I don't know if Chair Panther. I'm still on the fence about
I think
that.
he is because Beetlejuice exists.
Well, I am thinking in a world of where Beetlejuice gets fixed.
If Beetlejuice gets
I
fixed,
understand.
That's a dream world right now.
If it's a Beetlejuice gets fixed, it's a 240 point meta because I think you still have to play Butterfly.
I agree with that. But
Mhm.
you're playing Butterfly not specifically for Butterfly the figure. You're playing for the Swiss Army knife of
Yeah.
other 50 point and below pieces. So
Well,
that's a
because-
little bit more
Well,
okay.
And
let's
I
not
think
discount
that, like, even
mass
if you-
leeching is really good.
What's that?
Who?
Jason? What'd you say?
Just don't discount the mass leeching trait. That's really, really good.
It is.
Oh, it is. But
But I think
it
if
gives you-
anything, like you have to play Butterfly, and someone brought this up, I think, on Facebook. Butterfly is a must play, just because Elsa has to sit there. Because if you don't, then you have the possibility of facing the Starro, and that is almost insurmountable in Modern if you don't play Butterfly.
insurmountable as in what?
They heal to the 300 point whatever Starro.
Mm-hmm.
260 point Starro. Yeah.
So if you don't, then like you got to have something, and this having the threat of that Elsa makes all the difference in the world.
Is he really that? Were people playing that at Red, White, and Clicks? The
Mhm.
Starro?
Yeah.
They
How bad
but
was
they didn't get to do it because people played Elsa. They weren't successful because of Elsa.
But it was there.
Yes.
That
Interesting.
Cosmo from the Guardians box enables a lot of that. Was definitely there on other teams too.
Yeah,
It makes me sad because I like that 80 point line on Starro, but I guess he never gets played.
Well, not yet. He hasn't, but
I would
can
still
be.
like to play the 80 point line of Starro. He's one
Yeah.
square short from being great.
Yeah, I like that Starro at 80. That might be something I work on after the Superman team for Modern. Now that I'm kind of swapping over to Modern, but
Yep. All right. Let's answer some questions. Todd Russell starts us out with a layup. Which Superman in Modern right now are you all excited to build around? The starter one. The starter one.
The starter one for sure.
yeah, I just sold my Ultra Chase, so not that one anymore.
I want to play phone booth soups. No, I'm just kidding. That's the starter one.
Yeah, I've got behind me two of the starters.
Yeah,
I went and bought two of them.
You do have to
Yeah.
get the phone booth soups for the phone booth though, because that's 0.
You do have to get the phone booth. Yeah.
0.
You got it's like one of the best terrain markers in Modern.
Also, it's gigantic. If you've taken it out, it is big.
It's big, yeah.
It's gonna be
in
annoying.
there.
Giordano asks,
And why is that-
kids?
Why is that Superman sculpt? Wait a minute. Why is that Superman sculpt so tiny? It's like the old scale. It's not like on the new scale.
He's got to fit in the phone booth.
I was
It's kinda
about to say the
bullshit.
same thing. I was about to say the
It's
same
kind of
thing,
bullshit. Like I wanted a nice sculpt of him. He got shrunk down. Like,
Yeah, it feels like the starter Superman is probably bigger, but he's carrying the big old bent
Yeah.
steel beam.
Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
heat rays do. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Yep. Lex is right. Should WizKids just ditch boosters and only make iconics?
That's interesting.
That's an interesting question.
I don't hate the idea right off the jump. Like, but it's a total change in business for
It
them.
is.
There's no way it's
Well,
gonna happen.
I will make this comparison for y'all. I have played Warhammer before. I've demoed Warhammer, War Machine. Great game mechanics. Will not play it because they don't come pre-painted.
Yes,
And
I draw the line.
I don't have time to devote to assembling and painting. And I think even if I won that $1 billion lottery, I would probably just be buying armies of War Machine and Warhammer pre-painted and pre-assembled.
I'm not a good painter either.
Yeah, I don't really have the patience for it.
No.
But so here's where I'm going with that: a pre-painted, pre-assembled miniatures game with depth and longevity of HeroClix without the blind booster, with the blind booster removed, is a possibility, I think. But
So-
you're also looking at probably, instead of a $40 Iconics or a $50 Hellfire Club Gala, or
70. Hellfire, I think, was 70.
no, 70.
It was like
yeah, okay.
$70. Yeah.
And something like that, you're probably looking at like a $200 army kit.
I don't think they'll go that way because they went that way with Dice Masters and it failed.
It did, yeah. So I like the idea.
So I have 2 points on that question. One being they will eventually run out of Iconics ideas. Let's keep that in mind. Like there's only so many first appearances they can do before they run out of first appearances. I do think, though, for their whole how they're doing sealed and whatnot, they are slowly pricing themselves out of the game because booster prices keep going up. If we're hitting $20 a booster at some point, you're losing people for just 5. I would much rather see them go back to the cheaper price and drop it, make sets smaller, and take it down to even just 4 figures. Have it down to
the sculpts could have got to stay the size they were.
like take it to just 4 figures per booster, but just cut out some of the commons, uncommons, rares. Like just make the set smaller, not 80, 90. Drop it to like 60 or however many there are. Like cut it in,
Like 45.
cut 30%. Yeah, cut 30% of a set. Drop the boosters down to 4 figures, but similar rarity distribution, and then cut the price down to back to $12 or $11. Something where when you're walking in, you're not having to sit here and debate: do I want to take the chance of a gamble of paying $17 for a booster that I'm going to get a rare that's worth $1?
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, because when you look at cards, trading card games, $6-7 a booster, and yeah, you can end up, most of the time you don't get your money back. Most of the time it's $1 rare or foil or something like that. The investment was $6 to $7. That's pales in comparison of, I'm spending $17 per booster to get 5 figures, and I may have pulled garbage. Well, then I can't. They may not be good figures.
It boggles my mind that we're going to 12 booster bricks. We're already expensive enough, and now we're adding 2 more onto the cost.
Right. I think they're getting too big. I think they need to shrink it back down. I think you could cut it down to, for price sake, to 4. Because who needs an extra common?
They've already done that. Look at the Batman set. They just put.
Well, that's different. They've
already experimented with it though.
Right. But they didn't change the price.
Object. Don't forget
No, they didn't change the price.
And don't forget X-Flop.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
They want us to play 4 figures, still the same price. Like
Right. So
it used to be 4 figures years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's fine as long as they cut the price down to match it. Take it down to 4. Take it down to 4, and then lower the price back down to a reasonable $12.
I miss buying a brick for $90. I miss that.
Because I think you could still get away. Because you could cut. If you look at most of these sets, like, every set needs 16 to 17 commons?
No.
No. Because most of them. Let's be honest.
Because every set has a few that you're scratching your head and like, why was this figure included? Not because it's a common, but like, it doesn't even fit the theme. Like, it doesn't make sense of why it's in the concept of the set. I think some sets have gotten too bloated. They could shrink them back down and have all your iconics to give you some of the they're not blind, but still have your blind boosters. Make them smaller, cheaper, sets a little bit smaller, and then you can have them more frequently if you want. If you want to raise that and say, okay, smaller sets, but we're pumping out 6 a year, and we could do part 1, part 2. If you really like, if you love the lanterns, kind of you do with War of Light Wave 1 and Wave 2. Well, just you could do 2 sets like that back to back and release them separately, and people would buy that. I'd be down for that.
I don't know that making smaller sets and then making more of them solves the problem, though.
It does from a price standpoint, because it does.
Because people feel like they can't keep up then, and that discourages them from continuing with the game because so much stuff comes out so fast.
I see a lot of people that are complaining about the boosters themselves costing $16, $17.
I'm not saying they're not, but you fix that problem, and then they think, well, there's just too many. I can't afford to buy that. Even at a cheaper price, I can't afford to buy 2 extra sets. I think one problem for another.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's getting rid of some of the fluff. Get rid of some of the fluff pieces that aren't needed, and just make things smaller. I would be game, because everything's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Collector's Trove, we're up to 12. Like, just do a micro set, or test out a mini set like that. See how well it does.
And then why aren't we doing 12 boosters on the smallest set that they've made, and who knows when? I don't understand that. What are we doing that for? Now we're getting a bunch of stuff we can't even use. Yeah. Like HeroClix USA pulled 2 Prime Iron Mans in his brick. Like,
well, that's a different problem. Like we all know, like when it comes to collation and all of that, how the distribution, it's sometimes it feels like that's out of WizKids' hands. Like they don't build sets with that in mind of, oh, you're going to end up with 2 primes and a brick.
They need to fix it. I mean, do something about it. Don't just. I mean, why they ignore? I don't know why they ignore. They stick their head in the sand and ignore these problems. I don't. No, I don't know why.
All right, what other questions
All right,
you got?
We got a multi-tiered one here from Mr. Barnstable, Anthony Barnstable. Which format is more fun, sealed or floor?
Sealed.
Sealed.
Which sealed format is more fun, draft or sealed boosters? Sealed boosters.
So draft being like a BR.
If draft is a BR, I'm going to say BR, but
I would say, it's really dependent on the set. That's a set-to-set thing. Some sets are built way better.
I would add a third option, anything that allows mulligans.
I would probably put both of those as equals. I think there's some sets that just pure sealed is better, and then there's some times where you're like, you know what, I'm just going for BRs because there's extra pricing. Mm-hmm. So on its own, at a store, I think sealed is better. I think the concept that David Newmark was doing with the CCO stuff, where he did the whole BRs that were just a whole brick, but you got 2 all 4 players got 2 boosters. You built a 300-point team, and then prizing included the last 2 boosters that weren't opened. I think that's the best for a new set. That's the best thing a store could do if you've got a limited amount of players.
Yeah,
is just 2 booster BRs. That's my favorite format when it comes to drafting. You don't draft, you do seal, but you still got the cool 4-player just smash mouth. Because sometimes you just pull garbage and you don't want to go through 3 rounds of play with the team you might pull, and you're like, I guess I'll keep playing so I could walk away with my LE at the end. Or
oh man, I better start sharing my Facebook. I was trying to show some photos of the year, and Jason popped up. I need to wrap up by 9, so let's keep it moving here. Which is more fun, 2v2 teams or 3v3? 3v3.
Never done 2v2, but
yeah, 2v2 is fine. It's just it's aimed for smaller events. If you're going to have 50, 60, 70, 80 people, you need to do 3v3, I think. Which is more fun for teams, sealed or Extreme Highlander? I love Extreme Highlander.
That is tough.
Mm.
I think the aspect of Team Highlander is better because you can just get royally screwed over with Team Sealed, as we have.
Team Sealed we get screwed a lot, seems like.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, but, I mean, it's fun.
Let's talk about Team Sealed real quick as our 2024 wrap-up. Guys, I tried my best. I teamed with world champions, and I still couldn't make cut at Team World Sealed. You guys probably wouldn't have me back for 25, but we're just going to have to do something to.
Oh, don't you come crawling back now, you traitor.
I'm not crawling back. I'm just saying. I don't know what else to do.
Don't come begging now.
Me and Jason are sitting here
good brick either.
We're not sitting here playing a violin for you. Oh no, you didn't do well when you went with the world champs. Oh no,
you brought the world champs down.
What are we going to do, guys? That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
I'm going to say, as a podcast, as the three of us here, we have tried multiple ways to do good at Team Sealed.
You've tried multiple ways. We've been doing we did our best.
Look, I forced you guys to try a different way. And
Alex and I were
by leaving
every time.
by leaving.
Well, it's still what it did.
What we're due one of the really good bricks to where we can do better.
Got the nuts brick like some people can't. We've never got that.
We're due, so hopefully it'll be like War of the Lantern Corps.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Anthony's got a whole bunch of other questions, but we got a few more questions just to wrap up here for Jason's stop time. McConnell Lamar, if you could change 3, and then if anyone has any questions in the comments of YouTube, please enter them now so that we can see them and answer them as we answer McConnell's questions. McConnell, I have an answer for him. If you could change 3 things in HeroClix going forward, what would it be? I
got it.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna let you say it first, Alex. And still on my thunder.
Okay.
To change 3 things, I think I'm gonna have a modified answer. You might be thinking my answer would be a return to WKOs. I think one of the most sour experiences I had this year in HeroClix was playing Silver Age. Even before Cup, at Cup, and then during States. It's been well documented. I think the change I would like to make is I love the fact that we get to do States. I love that there's 50 states plus the provincials around the world outside of the USA. I think a very simple change to allowing states to choose their format. If they want to play Silver, let them play Silver. If they want to play Modern, let them play Modern. If they want to do Sealed and buy all the product for Sealed, let them play Sealed. Let's go back to having a WKO-style choice for states. That would be my change number 1. What is y'all's number 1 change, Alex?
Can you say the question again before I make this joke?
If you could change 3 things in HeroClix going forward, what would it be?
My 3 things are Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Fair.
That's the only like overhead nagging thing I think in HeroClix right now is here comes Beetlejuice. That's the worst part we're about to encounter. It needs to be fixed. Like, and I have faith it will be. I think enough people have sounded the alarm that it's going to get fixed at some point soon. I mean, goodness knows, we know what they're capable of. They retired a charity piece a year early. So we know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
So,
Jason, what is your number 1 change?
I just want more tournaments overall. I mean, we did a lot better this year. I just want to see more frequent. We're getting there.
More.
WKLs are not coming back, no matter how much we want them to.
But Jason, we can say for number 2, bring back WKOs.
We can. It's not going to happen.
But we can still keep saying it. There's nothing wrong with us saying it.
No. More tournaments. I don't care who runs them, as long as somebody does it. If somebody wants to farm it out, fine. Let them farm it out.
Yeah.
As long as they won't prize it, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. And then, so I'd say my number 2, in actuality, I have for McConnell is I do think I do enjoy the fact that a Silver Age format exists, contrary to a lot of things that people might be thinking. I do hope that for the 2025 Silver Age season, sweeping changes occur over this winter period. to bring this format back to a more welcoming and approachable format for all players. That's my number 2 hope for going forward. Alex, number 2. Are you really going with Beetlejuice for all 3?
No, definitely not. Go to Jason. Let me think about my number 2 again.
What's your number 2, Jason?
I'm going to steal this from Scott Crampton because he said it multiple times. I want to see him sell legacy card packs. Just cards. Like, just packs of cards.
I feel like I said that too at some point.
He may have. I don't know.
I
Scott
think
said
we've
a lot
all
of times on
mentioned
his
that at some
podcast.
point. Yeah.
So I'm going to credit him for it. Yeah,
That's fair.
I like that idea.
Okay. You have your number 2 yet, Alex?
I mean, I think things I hope they change for my number 2. I mean, I hope they just continue what they're doing with the whole like store support for some of these like super sealed events that they've been running around the country. Like I like that concept of like, oh, it really feels like it gives very much the vibes of the old sealed WKOs. Very similar vibe of here's additional prizing for a sealed event.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. Like, to me, the super sealed are sealed WKOs. I know it doesn't give you like worlds, entry or selective things, but it's direct from WizKids prizing and stuff. I like the super sealed, so I hope they keep that going, and it goes throughout the year. And every new set, there's at least one of those in a region per quarter or something like that, just to keep it going, because I think it's great.
All right. That's really good, number 2, guys. I'm trying to make a poop joke there at some point, but number 3 for me, I really went back and forth and thought on this one, and I really would just want to say from a I don't really have a constructive criticism or a change necessarily for number 3. I want to see WizKids just continue to improve their communication. They've gotten better at it this year. I think Ryan has helped out a lot. Having the dedicated Facebook page has really been a big help. Getting us notification for major events earlier is a big deal. I mean, they said they're going to be at Gen Con this year. We know about when Worlds is going to be. These are all great things. Get communication out about schedules faster, what's going to happen on which days.
Submit the events earlier.
They're
actually in the catalog.
And I think maybe selfishly as a U.S. Nationals player, fix the format for U.S. Nats. I might be stealing Jason's number 3 there, but I do not enjoy the pod play either. It is so extremely difficult. It is, mathematically speaking, it's almost harder to get through the pods than it is to like get through Swiss and Worlds to make cut. The margins of error are razor thin for U.S. Nationals play at Gen Con. That's got to be fixed this year, upcoming year. But overall, right, I really think Modern Age is looking really good. I think the Modern Age events and Super Sealed events for 2025 are looking fantastic. I'm looking forward to playing in all of those events in 2025. I mean, let's go Modern Age and Super Sealed. What a fantastic future they have coming up.
Well, I hope they also entertain, and this is not my number 3, but I'm piggybacking off of yours. I hope they also look at the Adepticon size conventions going forward.
Yeah.
Because Adepticon was a surprise, I think, to most of us. They were there the prior year, but they didn't do HeroClix, and then when they announced Adepticon, we're like, all right, and we went, and it was the perfect size convention, in my opinion. Like, it wasn't crazy like Origins is, like Gen Con is, where it's just so difficult to get just to where you're playing half of the time.
Yeah.
Adepticon was great. I thought it was a great locale. We were able to park. We were able to walk in. It wasn't that far. There were still interesting things to see. A lot of people came. So I don't know what other conventions exist similar to Adepticon, but I hope they start going to those and having those too, because having the mid-size conventions is more appealing at times than just purely Origins Gen Con, because there's cool things about both. I like both, but goodness me, especially with how many, especially with all the tournaments we want to play in, we spend all the money to go to these conventions, and half the time can't even go do some of the other things we want to do there. Yeah,
can't even go to the dealer
number
hall
three,
because
Alex?
tournaments last so long.
So my number 3 is Black Panther was a great jump start. We haven't had a lot of Pulp yet, but I like that format. I like Pulp as a format. I think it's a good entry point for people. I know we've soured a little bit on it because we just want more and more modern. We're addicts. But I think Black Panther introduced a lot of good pieces for Pulp. It's kind of making it more thematic, making it more, you could play more of a Wakanda theme. I hope they continue that in later sets and build. I hope WizKids kind of builds almost their commons and uncommons around the concept of Pulp and say, okay, we're having the Pulp format. Let's make sure there's cohesiveness between the 3 rarities, because that's a way to make them valuable, right? Make your rares valuable. Hey, there's a format you could play this in. And sure, they could be great for Modern, but if they can't, if they're just, you can't validate that for a common, then make them good for Pulp, at least.
Yep.
Like, that's the biggest thing. If it's not good for Pulp, then I almost argue, then why is it being made?
Yeah. It's a good one. What's your number 3, Jason?
Let's see. I'm going to say that I want them to make 400 points Modern Age the new official format. No, I'm kidding. I don't want that. It'd be awful. That would be completely awful. I would like to see them continue to put people who care about this game into places in their company, as they have done in this past year with people like Ryan and Brian Gailey and others. I think that's a good trend. It's helping move the game in the right direction. We need more people there that care about what's going on with the community and the player base, and care about the health of the game, like that, in place.
Well, you just made it awkward with that one.
Give me a hell yeah.
All right.
Care more about the game.
That's supposed to be Riz, but I don't know what that was. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Pinoy Hero Click says they wish they would bring back Dyson token sets. I do agree there. To wrap out this show, thanks everybody for listening to Clicked Off in 2024 and joining us on into 2025. Appreciate all of y'all. Thanks for listening to Clicked Off, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Later.
Good night.